Good afternoon. This is TTT Live, Talk City 91.1 FM and TTT Live online on Facebook. I'm DK Roster and this is responding to COVID-19. Now, our guest this afternoon is Vaughnette Bigford. She's an artist who can be found often putting a jazz spin on popular songs, showing us that at times our only limitations are created by our imagination. Now, seriously though, have you ever heard her version of Wrong Again by Skinny Banton? Now, her website, VaughnetteBigford.com, says that recognizing her talent as a gift from God, she is determined to fulfill the destiny He has ordained for her by constantly fine-tuning her craft and embracing every opportunity to share that liquid, golden voice with others. Now, even past that quote, Vaughnette is fully embracing the spirit of Ubuntu in that I am because we are, and making meaningful connections in the Southland where she is from, Brea and environs to be exact. So we say thank you for joining us, Vaughnette. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I am absolutely fine.
Great, very glad to hear. Now, what does your current routine look like? Because there's a list of things I want us to go through, but you can start with anyone you want to.
Oh, the current routine, I probably shouldn't be saying this on television because it's I kind of real lazy kind of vibes I get on with these days, and I'm not remotely apologetic about it. But I'm trying to remain sane. So I'm in a space where I'm doing things that keep me happy and keep me in that positive frame of mind. And that would include watching movies on Netflix and reading romance novels, tons and tons of romance novels, because it's bringing some sort of balance to me in this time where balance is a thing we're not sure we have right now. So that's my routine generally. I mean, I get up in the morning, my son has his online class that starts at 9. So we kind of prep him for that. And basically it's just trying to survive the day and hopefully something productive happens within that 24 hours generally. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's fine too.
But I like the fact that you speak about balance, and one of the things that you've been doing is helping to provide balance to a virtual series that has been taking place along with people like Penelope Beckles and, sorry, not Penelope Spencer. But what is that series about? Take us through it.
Right, so that's OMG Live, the quarantine edition, and actually our last episode of OMG would have been last Friday, the 50th episode. So we are finished. But what OMG primarily was, it's just a coming together of creative minds, people from different aspects of the art. We had Richard from fashion, then we had Penelope Cecilia and Richard Rabobasim from theater, and myself as a musician, just meeting and sharing ideas and just providing a space for persons, for people who are in Trinidad and Tobago and people in the diaspora as well, who just want to connect with something Trini, and it's just creating a space for people to just feel at home. So we would discuss almost anything. We would play a couple of games, we would talk about COVID and how it's been affecting us, we'll talk about what's on our mind, how we're dealing with this inverted commas new normal. And it was just basically providing a space every day for 1 hour. And we completed 50 episodes, and I mean, we were really trying to get some funding for it to continue. We did not, so we had to shelve it for a bit. Hopefully to come back in a different dispensation, maybe sometime pretty soon. But it was really a wonderful experience and something to look forward to every day. You know.
What was the response of people on the timeline while the series was going on?
I missed that question. Sorry.
What was the response that you were getting? The feedback from people who were taking in the series?
Oh yeah, definitely. And we have people from Belgium, we have people from England, we have people from Italy, we have people from the States, we had our local audience, and everyone, we had Roma and others in Toronto, and these people would log on religiously every single day. And it was only positive feedback. For them, a way to pass the time, because a lot of them would have been at home as well, because they can't go out. And a way to connect with home as well, connect with all the current issues, hear, speak comfortably the way we do, the way only Trinis can do, and just connect and fellowship. And we've got really only positive reviews and responses from the persons who would have loved on everything.
Fabulous. Now, I don't want to send it down the rabbit hole of who is essential and who is not essential, but one of the things that we were able to do is look to artists and musicians, players of instruments, for that bright spot in our day. And you were one of the first people, relatively speaking, who had a virtual concert. What was that about? How did that come about?
Well, I mean, as artists, when this whole COVID thing happened, as artists, we were talking amongst ourselves as to how can we now reach our audience when the audience can't pay to come and see us at a concert hall? So we were in discussions about how to approach it. And then before our ideas got cemented into anything, Digicel approached me about this series that they wanted to do. And they wanted to start the series. So they called it Digicel Cameo Series. And it would have been during the period of the quarantine when people couldn't go outside, people couldn't go to pay to get entertainment. And what they basically did is just had artists, sometimes from in the comfort of their home, just present something structured and organic and to the persons, to an audience, a wide audience, of course. And they started that series with me. And I think they featured maybe about 10 or 12 artists after that. But that was spearheaded and financed by Digicel. And we're really thankful to Digicel for that, because it really provided a space for us to earn a little too, as well as providing a space for people to be entertained. So they did that on Thursday nights and on Sunday nights. And I started off the series on March 22nd.
And from what I saw, people didn't just wash the foot and come. People put on outfit. People put on frock. People had drinks. People had on high heel shoes, just taking in this thing that you did with Ming.
Yes, it was actually really exciting to see how people responded to it. It's like, listen, this is a concert, and you know Vaughnette has come hard for our concert, so we can't just sit down in the living room and take in Vaughnette and have people in full concert gear with their wine and cheese, and it was such an exciting thing. And it was really exciting to see how people kind of just redefined how they're taking the live shows, and it was hilarious, man. When I got some of the pictures of people, I tell you, fully well decked to sit down in the living room to take in the concert. It was really fun.
Now, I don't know if this is a Dear Diary moment for me, but I want to say, Vaughnette, please let us know, what is the V-Spot?
Well, what I wanted to do when post-Petrotrin, because people who know me would have known that I worked for Petrotrin, that's the national oil company, for 18 years. And post-Petrotrin, when I was kind of trying to redefine and figure out what this new path for my life would be, because I had decided post-Petrotrin that I was not going to go back to work for anyone else, at least not for a while. I didn't want to venture back into corporate again. So I was just looking at ways and means to survive, pass the time, make the time meaningful, get some money out of it too. And I came up with the idea of, well, apart from promoting my own events, I came up with the idea of doing this virtual. It's almost like, it's just like a sing-along. So I do this every Friday night. I don't know how long I'll be able to do it for again, because I've been doing it. I've missed one Friday since sometime in March, and the amount of licks I nearly get for that. But it's basically just spending time and finding a way to keep the fans connected to me and what I do. So every Friday night, sometimes I put out a theme. So one Friday we'll do, okay, let's do divas tonight. And next Friday we do the men. Let's do the best of the bands. This Friday we're going to do all local music. So it's basically just keeping them engaged, letting people actually go and research, okay, local songs to come and throw at me. And on the Friday night, we actually sit down, I sing some of these songs, I play some of these songs, and it's just a really wonderful exchange for sometimes 2.5 hours. I'm trying to keep it to 2 hours, and it's very difficult. And so I do that every Friday night, and it's just a way for me to engage with the people that follow me and to get new people checking out what I do. But it's just as much fun for me as it is for them, to be honest. If I were to be honest.
All right, so we're going to continue with the fun. I am not sending you down the rabbit hole, although a little birdie said that someone is telling you that you should go offer yourself a screening in your area. But at the same time, we're going to talk about some of the other work that you are doing in Brea and environs when we return on responding to COVID on TTT, Chalk City 91.1 FM, and the TTT Live online. Stay with us. Welcome back to Responding to COVID on TTT, Chalk City 91.1 FM and the TTT Live Online. We are speaking with Vaughnette Bigford, daughter of the soil proponent of fashion, Zadan Eastman. You say Vaughnette. But in addition to the fashion, though, Vaughnette, what are some of the things that you are doing in Brea? And I ask that because black gold was a thing, and I'd ask you to explain what black gold was about and the response.
DK, I have had this idea, and this idea I've had in my head maybe a couple of years prior to the closure of Petro. And I was just thinking in terms of this community that has raised and molded me in a very beautiful kind of way. I absolutely love this space, this place where I live. I tell people all the time, I'm from Brea, I'm from Brea. I'm born and bred Brea, and I've had the opportunity to move out of Brea, but it is home for me. There's something about this space that keeps me very grounded, and I feel love when I pass through this space. So of course, as a daughter of the soil, I live here. I'm here every day. I see some of the things that can be done to make this community better. Now, I'm using my life as an example in terms of, I realized that I was a creative and an artist very early on in my life. My first stage experience, I was 7 years old. And I realized that as much as I did the academic thing, I always felt a lot more comfortable in the creative space. And I know the impact that the arts and exposure to the arts had for me from a teenage years up until now. I know the influence. I know how I'm able to be confident, self-assured, and a number of other things because of my exposure to the arts. I don't make joke about that. I know that. And I know that I wish that we would give the respect to art and sport as we should, because yes, we focus on the academic, and the academic, it's a given, it's important, but I always believe that we have to try our best to send out into this world well-rounded, balanced individual. And that's what the arts done. I mean, apart from the fact that it can also be a career path. So it was basically me just looking in this space and seeing children and seeing bright, bold teenagers without a space to focus and channel that energy, that youthful exuberance and energy. So I came up with the idea for Black Gold, and Black Gold was basically a talent competition that I designed for teenagers in and around this area. I went out, sent the message out, and the teenagers responded, and what we did from registration to the finals, which would have been an Independence Day, we did a very rigorous training program for these teenagers. So what they came in with and what they left with different things. I encourage industry professionals, dancers, drummers, singers, people coming in and actually working with them to perfect their presentation for the finals. And coming out of that, of course, it just further reinforced for me what my role in this community should be. And that's where I'm coming up. I'm kind of trying to formalize the idea of a school for the arts for this space. Now, I have my very grand ideas of what a school for the arts should be. And I should have this building, and I should have all this money, and I should have it structured. And whilst I'm planning to get to that space, as far as I'm concerned, the children are suffering. So I decided that I'm just going to start DK. I'm going to start if it's in my garage, small, if it's small amounts, and just provide a space for these children to channel this creative energy, or this energy that they have. So I'm hoping to start it off in September, COVID permitting, because of course, you know, we have a number of different restrictions if this continues as it goes. But yeah, that's basically what it is. I'm trying to do it like maybe 2 Saturdays for the month, have people come in and just provide some sort of positive space for these children. I'm looking at ages 10 to 18.
Okay, so just before we go back to the project that you have at hand now, looking at the response of Black Gold, what was some of the type of testimonies, for want of a better word, or experiences that you had with some of those individuals from the area being able to meet with industry professionals? Because it's one thing to be in a group of your peers and they say, yeah, that sounding good, that hitting, that looking good, you have skills. But to be able to talk to somebody who has this amount of years, this is what they do, and have that communication and that engagement? What was that like for them?
Yeah, they were absolutely blown away, and more so because I had 16 teenagers in the finals, and DK, I'm telling you, out of the 16 teenagers, all of them were good at what they were doing. All of them were good, and they were very trainable. Everything that the industry professionals would have told them, all the advice that they would have been given, they took it and they took it into the finals. They were also extremely happy that they actually got to interface with people who do this for a living as well, because some of them are thinking of becoming performers for a living now. You know, there's a fight because we still at the stage where the parents want them, hey, just like my grandfather used to think, come in church and sing on a Sunday, or go in a community concert and sing. But in terms of art as a career, there are a lot of parents who still don't believe that that should be an option for their children. So it was encouraging for them to also see that there are people who do this for a living. This is a career for them. So if all in all, it was a wonderful experience, apart from the fact that they were interfacing and just vibing with their own kind, teenagers, you know, they're talking, they're laughing, they're sharing experiences, different schools. They were really happy to have the adults come from different spheres to actually kind of just fellowship with them as well. So up to now, sometimes when I pass these teenagers, they hear them, Miss Vaughnette, we ain't doing nothing, no choir, no this. So it's almost like I feel so bad that it's almost like I opened them up to something, and then that was it. You know, so I have work to do. I know that I have work to do.
So speaking of that work to do, what are some of the things that are needed to move from 2 weekends for the month in your garage to that space that you're seeing? Because we're looking at the seed and seeing the fruit. Take me along that journey. What's needed?
Now, initially, I mean, I have my ideas of where I wanted to get, but we have community center. So we have the Brea Community Center is in a state of disrepair, and we really want that community center fixed. Because I think, what else is the purpose of a community center if not for stuff like that? So I may just have access to the Destiny Village Community Center. Now, I wanted to try to keep it centered in Brea, because I'm telling you, many of these children who are going to be coming to these classes, their parents are not going to be able to give them money to travel, to go to. So that in itself, I mean, the parents already have the idea of what art and drama is. So to have to give them money is a further deterrent, and we don't want to deter them. We want them to come. So we want it to be as accessible as possible, closest to where they live, so that they can walk to the classes. So I'm gonna focus on getting one, asking for the use of one of the community centers. I've already started discussion. Of course, I have to get tutors. I have to get people, industry professionals who are, because I'm doing something and I want to do it the right way. You want trained, certified people to come in, because I'm telling you, I've had to unlearn many habits that I picked up because I wasn't taught the correct way from inception. So you learn to sing a particular way, and only when you really start to get formal classes, you realize, well, all the years you singing, you're really not, that wasn't the posture. You're not supposed to be singing from here, you're supposed to be singing. And those are things that you have to unlearn. So I don't want to have to just, you know, if I'm doing it the way it should be done. So I want to get professionals, people who are certified and who know what they're doing, to come and lay the foundation. So of course, I mean, I know that there are people I'll get to come in and work pro bono, but I don't want to ask that of artists as well, because we're all artists and we all have to survive and live via our art. So I want to be able to offer these people some sort of payment. So of course, I need to come up with a way to generate income to pay the tutors.
And one thing, the last thing though, because of course time is at a premium, but in terms of how people contacting you to continue this discussion that needs to be had and move from from talk to action, how do they contact you?
724-3041, that's my phone number. The world knows my phone number. I'm also on every social media platform, Instagram, Facebook. I'm just very available because I like to engage with people, and anybody who's interested in helping, there's a GoFundMe page as well. If you look at Fund Me TT, there's also a page in the event that you want to donate to the cause as well. But you could reach me. You could reach me via phone or Facebook or any other social media. I'm very available.
All right, and we want to thank you for your availability, which sometimes is more important than ability, and more power to the cause. So Vaughnette Bigford, musician and doing big things in Brea, not Brea. But remember, you can join us for live coverage on TTT Talk City 91.1 FM, Sweet 100.1 FM, Next 99.1 FM, as well as on Facebook at TTT Live Online for all your COVID-19 updates. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the TTT crew, I'm DK Rostar. Bye for now.